What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this month's tutorial video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can add Google Play game services to your Android game that you're making with Unity. Now, Google Play game services provide a host of features that you can use for your game that Google has provided for you. Some of these features include leaderboards, both global and with your friends, as well as achievements, an event system where you can have daily or weekly events, and even turn-based and real-time multiplayer functions. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm currently working on a mobile game that takes advantage of a lot of these functions. It's called Edge Runner, and there's sort of an endless runner component to it. So I've implemented the leaderboard system, and I'm going to be drafting up a bunch of achievements, and there's going to be all sorts of daily and weekly events. And Google Play game services mesh really well with this sort of game. So if you want to learn more about that, definitely go check out some of the other videos on my channel. So in this tutorial video, I'm going to be giving you a complete overview of all the setup that needs to take place both in Unity and the Google Play Developer Console to get you up and running with Google Play game services. And in this video, I'm also going to be showing you how you can add a simple leaderboard to your game. So the one prerequisite for this video is that you need to have access to the Google Play Development Console. And the way you get access for that is to become an Android developer, which means just paying the $25 sign-up fee. And once you've done that, it'll give you access to some development resources as well as the ability to publish games to the Google Play Store. And because I'm going to be showing you everything that you need to do, there may be a few things that I'm going over that you already know. So definitely go check the description below. I have all the time codes listed there, so you can just click on the different parts of the video that you need to reference and skip over the ones that you don't. Also, in the description of the video, I'm going to be providing you with the Unity project that I'm working with, so you can go ahead and download that package and follow along if you'd like. So anyways, if you find this video helpful, please give it a like, and also feel free to share it with anyone else who might find it useful. If you have any questions for me on any of this, feel free to drop them down in the comments section below. And also feel free to subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of other cool tutorial videos like this one and lots of other cool independent video game development related content. But enough on that, let's jump right on into the tutorial video. Okay, so first things first, we're going to need to download the Google Play Games plugin for Unity, and we're going to do that off of a GitHub repository. The link is down in the description, of course. So we can just go over here to this clone or download link, and just go ahead and download the zip file and extract that to somewhere easy where you can find it. Now we can go over to Unity, and I have a pretty basic project set up. If you have an existing project, you can go ahead and follow along the steps just fine. But first thing we need to do over here is import the new package. So go to Assets, Import Package, Custom Package, and then a window is going to open up, and you're going to want to navigate to that Play Games plugin for Unity master folder and go into this current build folder here. And then you'll see we have this Unity package here that we can just go ahead and import. So once this window pops up, just click all to make sure everything is selected, and then just go ahead and hit the import once you're ready to import. So next we'll just go up to Edit, Project Settings, and Player. Make sure we just have the Android tab selected here. So of course we're going to be entering a package name, and you're going to be wanting to remember what that is because we're going to be putting it in the Google Play Developer Console in just a little bit. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, go to Publishing Settings, we're going to need to make a key store. So I already have an existing key store, but if you don't have one, you can just click on Create a New Key Store and then click Browse Key Store. So just navigate to somewhere where you can access it pretty easily later on. I've just called this the GPGS TUT key store. So you can just go ahead and click Save once you have that. And if you are making a new key store, you're going to need to enter a password and confirm the password. Next, you're going to need to create a key. So I have this GPGS TUT key. However, if you want to create a key, just open this Create a New Key. Go ahead and type in whatever you want for the alias. Password, make it something easy to remember. Confirm the password. And this is just some optional organization stuff that you don't necessarily need. And then just select your key, and you should be all set with that. Now a little later on, we're going to need to use this key store to help generate a code for us. And in order to get that code, we're going to use something called KeyTool. And KeyTool is part of the Java development kit. So if you're on Windows, you're going to need to add the Java Development Kit to your environment path. And if you haven't done that already, the easiest way to find where your Java Development Kit location is go up to Edit and then Preferences. And in the window, click on External Tools. And then if you scroll down, you'll see there's this JDK here. So I have it at D Program Files Java, and then it has the version. So the best thing to do now is just direct copy and paste that so you know exactly where it is. Next thing you're going to want to do is just down here in the search, you're going to open up My Computer. However, if you're on Windows 10 or newer, it's called This PC. So you just right click on My Computer or This PC, depending on what version of Windows you're on, and then click Properties. And then the System Properties opens up in the control panel. You're going to want to click on Advanced System Settings. And then from here, you're going to go down to the Environment Variables. When this pops up, you're going to want to click on the variable named Path and then click Edit. And you'll see that I've already entered it in, but if you haven't already, you're just going to click the New, and then you're going to paste in that folder location to the Java Development Kit, and then you want to make sure you do the /bin folder. That's bin, and this is where the key tool program is actually stored. So now that the environment variable has been added, we can run the key tool command very easily from a command prompt. So just go ahead and click OK and OK and OK and close that. And the very last thing that we need to do here is just go up to File, Build Settings, click on Android, and switch platform if you have not done so already. Okay, so first we're going to log into the Google Play Developer Console and click on the Game Services tab over to the left here. Now in the center, it's going to show all the applications that we've configured Google Play Game Services for. So as of right now, you can just see my game Edge Runners here right now. So we'll go ahead and add a new game for the tutorial. So now you'll see that a window pops up asking you if you've already used Google APIs in your application. So most of you probably don't. However, if you followed along with some of my Firebase tutorials, you can go ahead and say, I already use Google APIs in my game. And then here it shows the projects that you have configured, and so you can select that one. However, we don't have any Google APIs, so I'll just enter a name here. So I just have GPGS tutorial, and for game type, I just chose educational. So go ahead and click continue here, and it'll take a sec to load. Okay, so now we'll be brought to a page where we can start to configure some of the things about our game. So the only thing that's actually required for testing is the display name. However, I just went ahead and added in a description as well as some little fun icons here at the bottom. And if in the future you do want to allow saved games for your game, you can go ahead and turn that on, but I don't need that, so I can just leave that off for now. Once you're done making your changes, be sure to save them. So now the next thing that we're going to do is generate an OAuth 2.0 client ID. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to start by creating a linked application. So just in the linked applications tab over here, we're going to be brought to another little page, and it'll ask us if we're going to be making an Android app or a web app. Of course, we're doing an Android app. So now we'll just enter some details of our application. Of course, we'll just put the app name and the package name. And then if you want to have turn-based multiplayer or real-time multiplayer in your game, you can turn that on here. And this is the anti-piracy option down here, which prevents users who have not installed your game via the Google Play from accessing Google Play game services. So we can leave that on, and we'll just go up to the top and press save and continue. Now the next step, we're actually going to authorize this app, so we'll click authorize your app now. And then you see that it wants a signing certificate fingerprint, SHA-1 encryption. And so how do we actually get that? So we're just going to go ahead and open up a command prompt. In Windows, you can just go to the menu and type in CMD for command prompt and hit enter, and it should bring you to this little command prompt window. And the command that we're going to type in is keytool-list-keystore, and then we actually type in the path to our key store. So if you remember, I stored mine at d/android/keystores/gpgstut.keystore. Once we have that all entered, we can just hit enter here, and it'll prompt us for the key store password. So we'll just go ahead and type that in. Alright, so you'll see that it gives us the certificate fingerprint here, so we can just go ahead and highlight this whole thing. Now if you're on Windows, to copy it, you just hit the Enter key, and that'll copy it to your clipboard. You'll see there's also a little warning that we get at the bottom here. You can go ahead and run that little command if you'd like. I usually do, but we're not going to do that right now. We'll just switch back over to the Google Play development console here, and then we can just go ahead and paste in our signing certificate fingerprint. Once we have that, we'll just hit confirm. And you see that we have successfully linked your client ID. And that's basically all we need to do. So we can just go back to the list here, and you'll see that we do have a linked application under OAuth 2.0 client. We have a nice little check mark here. All right, so now that we've completed the linked app, let's go ahead and actually add a leaderboard here. So we'll just click on the Leaderboards tab over here, and we'll click on Add Leaderboard. So for now, we'll just add a simple high score leaderboard. Our score formatting is going to be numeric, but you can choose currency or time if you'd like. You can also configure the number of decimal places, and if you'd like a custom unit, you can add that here. If you want an icon for your leaderboard, you can go ahead and drop it here. But if you don't have anything, just the default will be shown, and that's completely fine for now. You can choose if you want larger is better or smaller is better for your leaderboard. For a high score leaderboard, we're going to want larger is better. Let's go ahead and enable tamper protection. This is just kind of a built-in thing that if Google senses anything funny is going on, they're not going to accept that high score. And then here you can put limits for low values and high values, and it won't accept any scores outside of your defined limits. Lastly, this is list order. We only have one leaderboard, so it's just going to be the first of one leaderboard. If you had multiple leaderboards, this would be how you would choose which order the leaderboards show up in. So back up at the top, we'll just go ahead and hit save here. And you'll see that we now have our high score leaderboard, and there is an ID attached to it. And as of right now, there are no scores in our leaderboard. So in order to be able to post scores to this leaderboard and access the leaderboard through Unity, we're just going to go ahead and click on this Get Resources here. And this little window pops up, and you're going to want to have the Android tab selected, and just go ahead and copy all this text here. Copy that, and then we're going to be pasting that over into Unity in just a moment. And so that's basically all we need to do in the Google Play Developer Console. The one last thing that I will point out is if you do use different email addresses to log into the Google Play Development Console and the email address that you're actually logged in your phone with to access Google Play Game Services, you're going to want to go to the Testing tab down here and go ahead and say Add Testers. And you're going to go ahead and type in the email address that you will be using to test the Google Play Game Services with. So I'll just type my email address in here, and we can just go ahead and add that. So you'll see that there are the two tester accounts. This is the account that I'm actually logged in with, and this is the account that I log into my phone with. And of course, if you're doing a beta test with your game, you're going to want to go ahead and add the email addresses to all the participants in this testing section here. So now back over in Unity, we're going to set up the Google Play Game Services for Android. So the way we do that is just go up to Window, and there should be this Google Play Games selection, and then go to Setup, and then Android Setup. Now a window pops up, and you can just go ahead and leave these as defaults. That's pretty much the easiest to do. And then you're going to want to paste the Android resources that you got from the Google Play console just right in here. Once you've done that, go ahead and just click Setup. And you should see another window pops up that says resolution succeeded. If you did, you've set up everything correctly thus far. Okay, so we're back over in Unity, and I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of how I have my project set up. So there's two scenes. The first one is this GPGS auth scene, and this is basically the scene that authenticates your user with Google Play services, and once they are logged in, then we'll be able to take full advantage of the Google Play services. So all this is just a very basic scene with some text that says signing into Google Play Game Services, and if there's an error, we're going to change this text to say, like could not sign into Google Play Game Services. And then the only other thing that I have of consequence here is this Play Games controller with a Play Play Games controller script attached to it. And we'll be going into that in just a little bit, but I just want to show off the other scene, which is the Leaderboard UI scene. Again, this is mainly just some user interface type stuff. We have an input field where we're going to type in a score here, and this input field, we have it set to content type of integer number, and we do that to make sure the value that we're going to be posting to our leaderboard is a compatible type with the Google Play Game Services leaderboard. And then I just have a button to post the score to the leaderboard, and then I have another button that will actually show the leaderboard. And then finally, I have some error text that will be displayed on the screen in the event of an error. And then to control this scene, I just have a UI controller game object with a UI controller script. So now over on our Play Games controller script, you'll see that there are a bunch of libraries that we need to include. So we'll be using the Google Play Games, googleplaygames.basic.api, unityengine.social.platforms, unityengine.scene.management, and unityengine.ui. So scrolling down to the main portion of our code here, you'll see that I have this public text variable called main text, and we're going to be setting that to this text object here that just says signing in to Google Play Game Services. In the event of an error, we can update the main text. And then our start function is just going to call this authenticate user function, and then from here we're going to do play games client configuration, and we'll call that variable config equals new play games client configuration dot builder dot build. And if there are any crazy parameters that your game needs to require, you're going to build them in here. You can find more documentation online if you need to add in any specific things. But for leaderboards and achievements, we don't need to add in anything, so just this is fine. And then now we'll do playgamesplatform.initialize instance, and we'll pass in that config variable. And lastly, we'll do playgamesplatform.activate. Now once that's been activated, we can actually authenticate the user, and then we'll use the social.localUser.authenticate function to actually authenticate the user. Now you may notice that this is actually all just like one line of code. So this is basically everything that we're passing into this authenticate function. So we have this bool success variable, and we can see if success is equal to true. That means that we did log into Google Play Game Services. So we can just print a debug message to the screen and also go ahead and load our leaderboard UI scene. Otherwise, we're going to print out an error, and we're going to change that main text to could not log into Google Play Game Services, and just change the color of that text to red so it stands out a little bit more. Now that is everything that is happening in this first scene right here. However, we do need to add just a couple more things for posting to the leaderboard and actually showing the leaderboard user interface. So we'll make a public static void function called post to leaderboard. And the reason we do a static is because we don't necessarily need an instance of the Play Games controller to post a score to the leaderboard, but we will be passing in a variable of type long called new score. And long is basically just an integer type, but it's capable of going to much higher numbers than just a standard integer. Now posting to the leaderboard is pretty simple actually. We just do social.report score, and of course we'll pass in the new score variable, and we need to pass in a string variable for the leaderboard ID, and you can get the text of that ID just in the Google Play console here. You'll see that there's just this ID component, and you could copy and paste that if you want, but when we ran that Android setup over in Unity, it generated this GPGS IDs script, and so we can just do GPGS IDs dot leaderboard high score. And so this is just a very easy way to keep track of all the string variables for your different leaderboards and achievements and other things that are within the Google Play Game Services. And then similarly to signing in, we're going to have this bool success, and then within that, if it is successful, we will just put a debug log message saying posted score to leaderboard, and if it was not successful for some reason, it'll say unable to post new score to leaderboard in a log error message. And so that's really all we need to do to post it to the leaderboard. And the last thing that we want to do is actually show the leaderboard user interface. And this is something that's built into the Play Games platform. So we'll do playgames.platform.showLeaderboardUI. And if you want, you don't need to pass in anything here. In that case, it will show all the leaderboards. However, I want to show off this high score leaderboard, so we can again put in the GPGS IDs.leaderboard high score. And again, this just shows the built-in Google Play leaderboard user interface, which I think is really clean, and it's pretty nice to have kind of a standard leaderboard that maybe your players will be familiar with. If you'd like to create your own leaderboard, there are definitely functions that allow you to grab the leaderboard data and create your own. I'll leave some links to some documentation in the description so you can reference that if you'd like. But make sure just in the scene we have the Play Games controller, and then we have this text component here. We'll just drag it right into the Play Games controller script. Now we'll move over to the leaderboard UI scene, and on the UI controller we can open up our UI controller script. So here is the leaderboard UI controller script. The only other library that we really need to add is the Unity engine.ui, and we'll just have two public variables here. So there's the public input field score input field, and this is that input field that we're going to be typing the new score into, and then a public text variable for error text that will display our error text if there is an error. In the start function, we'll just clear out that error text so there's no errors showing on the screen. So in our post to leaderboard function, we'll just do a quick little debug log message, clear out the error text if there is any. Now we want to check if there is no value in the score input field. So if string.is null or empty, and we're going to pass in the score input field dot text. So again, this is the input field that we are typing a hypothetical score into. We'll change the error text dot text to error could not post score to leaderboard. Please enter a value in the score input field. If we do get an error there, we'll just go ahead and return. Otherwise, we're going to create a new long variable called score to post, and then we're going to convert what's in the score input field into a long variable type. So we just do if long.tryparse score input field dot text, and then we do out score to post. So this tries to change what's in the input field from a string into a long variable type, and then it outputs it to this score to post variable. So if that is successful, we'll just go call our play games controller dot post to leaderboard, and we'll just pass in the score to post. Otherwise, we'll set the error text to error could not post score to leaderboard. Please enter a valid score value. So this would happen if for some reason there is some type of erroneous input put in the score input field. And then lastly, we just have the on button show leaderboard. We'll just debug log showing leaderboard, and then call the play games controller dot show leaderboard UI. And so that's basically all the scripting that we need to do. Now we can just go back over to Unity. On the UI controller, make sure we have our score input field and error text set in here. And of course, when we click the post button, we're going to change this on click property. I'm going to drag in the UI controller here. And the function we're going to call is the UI controller on button post to leaderboard. And we're going to do something similar with the show leaderboard button, but we're just going to call the UI controller on button show leaderboard function. And so just about now we are ready to make a build of our game. So we'll just pop open the build settings, make sure we add both the GPGS auth scene and leaderboard UI scene, and then just go ahead and make a build and install it on your Android device. Okay, so now we have the application installed on our device, so let's just go ahead and launch the GPGS tutorial application. You'll see that we're brought to the signing in with Google Play Game Services page, and it actually opens up some native Google Play Game Services stuff. And the first time the user launches the application, a window will pop up asking if you want to allow Google Play Game Services to manage game activity. So let's just go ahead and hit allow. Now we'll actually sign in to the Google Play Game Services, and you'll see that when we actually do get signed in, we get a little notification at the top just letting us know that we have signed in. Anyways, we're now at our post to leaderboard screen, so here we can just go ahead and type in a score that we would like to post. For example, let's just say 150. And we can go ahead and post that to the leaderboard. And because we did not receive any errors, we know that it has successfully been posted. So we can just go ahead and hit Show Leaderboard now. And this actually brings up the built-in Google Play Game Services user interface for the leaderboard. So you'll see at the top it has the name of the leaderboard, which is high score. And if you like, you can sort it by today, this week, and all time. Of course, this is the only item on the leaderboard so far, so it's the only one that shows up. Of course, we can go back into the application and let's put a higher score now. Let's say 2,500. And so we'll go ahead and post that to the leaderboard and hit Show the Leaderboard. And you see instantly we now have a score of 2,500 as the #1 spot on the leaderboard. Now, if we do go back and we do a score that is less than that, let's say 250, post that to the leaderboard and click Show Leaderboard, it's still just going to show our highest score of 2,500. So you don't need to worry about any lower scores popping up for any reason. And then the last thing that I wanted to show off real quickly, if we go back to the home screen here, you'll see that there's this Play Games application. Now, this came pre-installed on my phone, and if it's not pre-installed on your phone, you can definitely download this from the Google Play Store. But if we open this up, this will show a lot of the games that we have installed on our phone. And you'll see that there's some built in like Snake, and here's my game Edge Runner, and there's Pac-Man, and other games that you download off the Google Play Store. Anyways, if you'll remember, this is the high-res icon that I dropped in on the Google Play Developer Console, and this is different from the main application icon. So we can actually click on that and see a little bit more about the game. For whatever reason, the feature graphic doesn't appear here. I haven't figured out how quite to get that to appear, but I'm assuming that when the game is fully published, that feature graphic will show here. But anyways, in here you can check achievements and the leaderboards. So we can just go ahead and open the leaderboards, and you'll see that there's just one, which is the high score leaderboard. And we can open that up and we'll see me in first place here. And again, you can sort by today, this week, all time, and you can toggle between social and all. Social is just your friends and all is everyone in the world. So anyways, that's just going to wrap up this tutorial video on how to add Google Play Game Services to your game and how to add a leaderboard to your game. If you found this video helpful, feel free to leave it a like, and also feel free to share it with anyone who might find it useful. Again, if you have any questions for me, feel free to drop them down in the comments section below. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already for lots more cool tutorials like this one and awesome independent video game development related content. But anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.